Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to the Lift Your Life podcast. I hope everyone is as good as I am. Lucy is on cloud freaking 9 today. Why, you may ask? Well, if you are watching this in real time, so on the Wednesday that I upload it, or just pretty close to the actual drop release date, we did our client photo shoot last weekend. And honest to God, I am just, I'm the happiest human ever. Honestly, I am so proud of my girls. Just honestly, I'm so buzzing. I am so buzzing just from this weekend, seeing the girls crush it and just for what's to come. Laura came over the weekend as well, stayed with me, helped me out with the shoot, and we had some chats about things to do with coaching and what we can do to progress the business and just make things better for our clients. And I'm just really excited for this year. I am just so freaking hyped and stoked for what is to come this year. I've literally been like a kid at Christmas, like jumping off the walls with so much energy and fire in me since Saturday. That being said, we have actually now, because we were waiting until we'd finished the shoot to ensure that our girls had the best attention from ourselves, we have just opened up our coaching doors now for new clients. We've had a really good response already. We've not really quote unquote announced it, but already my call booking slots for this week are filling up, which is amazing. Again, it just gets me so excited to speak to all these new ladies, these action takers. So if you are someone who is interested in finding out more about what it is that we can do and how we can help you out, I'll leave details in the show notes for how it is that you can contact and reach out to us. Contact and reach out to us is what I try to say there. But ultimately, if you do ever just want to find out more, you can always just slide in my DMs over on Instagram, and I'm always happy to help and give more information and details. But moving on from that, mindset. You guys love the mindset podcast. I love talking about mindset. I think there's a lot of podcasts and information out there around training and nutrition. And I do like to educate and help you guys with that stuff. But I honestly think most of that stuff is so irrelevant and pointless in terms of implementation if your mindset is not in the right place. And this is why mindset is one of the core pillars within our coaching, because we can give you the best training plan and the best nutrition plan. But if your mindset is not there, they're literally as much use as a chocolate teapot. I've always wanted a chocolate teapot, but that would be lovely. It tastes amazing. Be pointless though, be useless. So I want to talk to you about 5 of the biggest mindset shifts and things that I've implemented that have honestly changed and saved my life. And I don't mean that to be dramatic and clickbaity as a podcast title, and maybe it was clickbaity and you're here because of that, so hi, but more so to actually share some things that have changed my life and how you can implement them and how they can change your life and work towards you and your goals too. So before we dive in, I just need a drink because I'm extremely dehydrated. And if you are watching this live, you will see my amazing, sexy new Lift Your Life water bottle, which is just beautiful. You will also see my overly tanned body because me and Laura did not want to be pale in the photos with clients and have them show us up. So the first one, I've said this on podcast before, I'm going to say it again. It's not the problem. It's what you do about it. It's your response, not the initial reaction. So whenever something doesn't go to plan, it's never that thing in isolation typically which is going to have the detriment to your future. It's your response, your reaction, what you do afterwards. So a prime example of this is nutrition. So let's just say you are following a calorie deficit diet and everything is going swimmingly. You have this spontaneous meal. Oh, that's my Fitbit telling me I've done my steps. Well, hey, love it. I'm now sold to Fitbit. I moved from a Fitbit to an Apple Watch because I lost my Apple Watch and it's so much better. Come on, Apple, up your game. You're pretty good at everything, but Fitbit slays, absolutely slays. But yeah, you're in a calorie deficit. You got off this spontaneous meal out and then you end up eating over your calories because you end up going out for drinks afterwards and living your best life. That one meal out and drinks is not going to derail your fat loss progress for the long haul. And even that week, it's what you do afterwards. So if you tell yourself, I ruined it, what's the point? I might as well carry on because my diet's over. Well, then inevitably you're going to end up pulling yourself out of that deficit and gain body fat again. Of course you are. Whereas if you just crack on business as usual, get back the next day to your steps, your gym, your normal calorie deficit diet, you will be absolutely fine. One little thing is never, ever, ever going to derail you. It's your reaction. And if you do feel that something does derail you a little bit more, so for example, right, let's go with something a bit bigger. So you have a really bad injury that means that you can't train. I've got a client at the moment who's had something go wrong with her ankle, which means that she can't do any sort of steps or lower body sessions. And she was really upset. You know, she was like, Luz, I just feel like something's getting in the way all the time. So I said to her, look, this has happened, but this is only going to stop you and derail you if you give up. There's still things that you can control. So let's change your response to this is shit, this is rubbish, this is beyond my control, to I can focus on training my upper body and getting hench as fuck with my upper body. I can focus on my nutrition and prioritize that to fuel my body, nourish my body, and ultimately nail that element and get consistent with that. Reacting in that way is going to allow you to still see fat loss. Reacting in a way that, you know, it's ruined, I can't even do my steps, so what's the point? It's probably going to see you maintain or even gain weight. So understanding that whenever something doesn't go to plan, it's your reaction and your response that is ultimately going to be the problem rather than the problem itself. Number 2 is that imperfect action is always going to be better than waiting for things to be perfect. Now, Lucy is a goddamn perfectionist. Like, she wants everything done like pristine before she's going to do it. That is who I am. That is how I like things done. But what I realize is waiting for things to be perfect only delays the result you want to get to. So for example, right, let's go with training, right? If you're waiting to be like 10 out of 10, making sure that your form's 100%, you know, before you actually go into the free weight section, you know, I'm just going to nail everything 100% into the free weight section. Or I'm just going to wait till I fully understand macros and calories before I actually start to diet. No, just do something, just take action. Yes, it may not be 100% perfect, but guess what? That imperfect action is going to lead to some sort of result, and imperfect action is better than waiting to things be perfect, because you will always find holes, you'll always find flaws, you'll always find reasons to not actually do it. Whereas you'll actually learn from imperfect action as well. You may make a mistake, but you realize from that mistake that that's how you can improve. So instead of procrastinating and waiting for things to be perfect, and this is actually going to lead on to my next one as well, just take goddamn action now and just accept that it might not be perfect, but that is okay and will still help you progress towards where you want to be. And that lends on to my next one, which is just take action, because there is no better time than now. There will never be a right time. There will never, ever, ever, ever be a perfect time. I promise you. You know, you want to wait for things to be quieter before you commit. You want to wait until this happens. So I'll tell you, for example, there's things in my business that I've always said I'm not going to do until we reach this point. But then I will always find another reason as to why I can't do it. Oh, actually, you know, for a safety net, let's wait till we're at this point. Oh, actually, let's just refine this first. There will always be some sort of excuse, something that you do to procrastinate. You move the goalposts. So if you are thinking about anything, you know, I'm going to wait until this, I'm going to wait till then, just don't. Just start now. And actually, do you know what? Trying to do something or starting something when maybe the conditions aren't perfect is actually better, because it forces you to adapt. It forces you to actually really learn. So for example, right, let's say you really want to commit to losing weight this summer, right? You want to go all in, you want to go to the gym, you want to better your nutrition, but right now you're just manic. You've got kids plays going on and work commitments and loads of socials, and you're like, I'll wait till all those are out of the way. If you can start now and navigate weight loss whilst you are super busy, think how much easier that's then going to be when things do quieten down. And also, right, even if you only make a few small steps forward now, you're still making steps forward. Whereas if you're procrastinating until things are quieter in a month from now, well, in a month from now, you could actually be 4 steps back from where you are today, rather than a few steps forward. So just knowing that taking action now and at least moving a few steps forward, even if it doesn't feel perfect, even if it doesn't feel like the bang on right time, is always going to be a better move than waiting for it to be right, because right time will never be here. That goalpost will always get moved and budged. And in the meanwhile, you're just going backwards from progressing to where it is you want to be or where you want to get to. The next one is set goals that fuel you, that energize you, that push you to where you want to be. So setting goals is so important, and crystal clear goals. So instead of just saying, I want to lose weight, I want to get stronger in the gym, I want to be fitter, it's such a generic thing that you don't really have that clarity and direction. And clarity and direction, specific goals, like SMART goals, are the best thing that you can do to help push you forward. So I will use my shoot girls as an example for this, and they won't mind me saying that they have been so much more consistent and pushed so much harder with having that set clear goal of the photo shoot. All of them, when we made that commitment to that goal, I saw their progress. Just, it was like they literally had a rocket up their arse. They just fucking flew because they had that clarity and direction. Me, for example, within my own sort of business goals, if I just say to myself, oh, I want things to be better for my clients, what does that mean? If I say things, I want things to be better for my clients because I want to offer them more one-to-one access to myself, because that's going to allow me to build a better rapport with my clients and allow for me to then help get them better results. That then allows me to think, well, how can I do that and how can I implement that? Which is why we've now discussed, me and Laura, actually systemizing our one-to-one calls, so then we're on a frequent every few month basis, so we've got that regular touch point and relationship with our clients. It's having that specificity. I said that for the first time and I'm buzzing because I can never say it the first time. That allows that clarity and direction. But don't just set goals, learn to love the freaking process, because I am a bitch for setting myself a goal and feeling like so shit until I get there. Like, right, I want to do this, I just want it done. And I'm not going to be happy until I get there and then I've achieved it. Because again, it's a bit like with the right time. When you achieve that goal, you'll move a goalpost. Okay, I've done it, what's next? Okay, what's next? I'm not satisfied. Maybe I'm happy, but I want something more. Whereas learning to love the process and be energized and be empowered and enthused and motivated by the process is just going to make you a lot happier generally, because you're stopping chasing and starting to actually be present and living. Now I'm starting to learn to love, like when I set these little targets and tasks and milestones, I'm loving it. I'm loving the ride of watching, things change and progress. With my training, if I'm working towards a fat loss goal, a muscle building goal, even a health phase goal right now, which isn't the most sexy, I'm learning to love the ride of actually understanding and appreciating my body more, rather than just being like, right, I just need to get my menstrual cycle and get my bloods back and then I can move on. I'm not just waiting to the means to the end. I'm learning to love the process. And as a result, I'm happier. And as a result, my results are better because I'm enjoying it. I'm putting more into it, which then allows me to get to the outcome a lot faster. It's the same with weight loss. If you're constantly waiting, I'm just chasing that 1 stone loss, you're just going to be feeling like miserable and just need to get it done, just need to get it done, need to get it done. So you get there. And then not only is it going to be a slow burner because you're not actually going to be putting your all into it because you're not enjoying the process, you probably find when you get there, you're not happy. You either want to move the goalpost or you end up reverting because you've ticked off the box. You've not actually found yourself, your passion in the processes. You've not learned the passion of bettering your nutrition, the passion of the exercise and the training, the passion of watching the small changes happen gradually, of your body changing, your confidence growing, your energy improving. So learn to love the process of the crystal clear goals that you do set for yourself. And the last one, and probably one of the most important ones that I think everyone needs to take away from this, is that mistakes happen, lows happen, dips happen, and they are not a bad thing. They are opportunities. They are learning curves. They are processes that better and make us grow. Mistakes, dips, lows, regressions, whatever you want to call them or whatever happens, are going to happen. So the first thing is just to have that acceptance that is going to happen at some point in my journey. I am going to take steps backwards. I'm going to be put on pause. Something's going to throw a spanner in the works. If you see that as a catastrophe, you let it get to you, yeah, it's going to be shit. You're going to just feel like shit. Now I see every single dip or a regression as a way of learning. So if something happens in my business where I think, oh my God, things are going backwards, oh my God, what's going on? I look at it as a tool to go, well, cool. This is a way of me actually learning more about what's maybe not working. How can I better things? How can I improve things? For example, like with my health deteriorating, it was a bump in the road, earlier this year, and I told you about how I was feeling. That was tough. That was challenging. But that allowed me to learn more about health. I've learned so much more now about thyroid and hormones, things that I can do to better my business. So yes, it was shit at the time, but I've been able to learn from that. If, for example, you go out this weekend and you don't, you end up going over your calories and gain a pound this week, don't see that as a bad thing. You've then learned what not to do when going out on weekends if you want to lose weight, and take that as an opportunity to invest into learning as to how you can navigate that social better in the future to lose weight. So every mistake, every dip, every low point, see it as a positive. It's a way we can grow. It's a test of resilience. It's a test of character. It's a way of helping us learn more. Because if we just got everything right and everything was just plain sailing, we'd never be resilient to anything. We'd never learn anything. We'd never have to adapt, have to change. And it's the adaptation and the change that allows us to grow as a person. So mistakes, lows, dips, don't see them as a bad. Have your sad, have your low, but then actually take value from what you can do and learn from that experience. So those are my 5 mindset shifts that have literally changed and leveled the fuck up my life. You may have different ones that have helped improve yours. And if you have, I'd love to hear them. But those are the ones that have helped me. And I promise you guys, if you implement these yourself, and I actually just want you to pick one that you feel sits the best with you and just start to implement it and really work on that one. Just one this month, this week, and see the difference that it makes. You know, I don't expect you to go and change all these overnight, but working over time on little mindset shifts like this, it honestly will change your life, because your mindset changes the way that you live everything in your life. Everything. It's a game changer, not only for your results within whatever it is you want to achieve, but everything. So if you found any of these interesting, insightful, I'd actually like to hear from you. You know, once you've listened to this, just drop us a message on Instagram. Let me know which of the mindset shifts you want to work on the best, or any that have really resonated with you. I'd honestly just love to hear. As always, if there's anything more that you want to hear on this podcast, like mindset, nutrition, training, please do let me know so I know what to talk about. I'm going to sign this one off here. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope there's my slip up for today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And as always, if you have, I'd appreciate a review over on Spotify. I'd appreciate a tag on the socials on the old gram. And I'll let you crack on with the rest of your day.